Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Freedom and Wealth Seekers podcast. Have a have a couple of topics to go over tonight. I promise not to hold you long this evening. I'm also going to go into some strategy. A lot of people have been asking the question, Marcel, what's the best way to get a deal right now? Some people are asking me, are real estate agents the best way to source deals? Are auctioneers the best way? I like to go where the masses aren't. So right now in one of the hottest real estate markets, unless you have an inside track to an auctioneer or a real estate agent, realtor, you're going to be competing. So I'm going to share a strategy tonight on the podcast that everybody can implement. It's a free resource. Um, I thought I was going to be sharing another resource with you, but I actually tested it out today, and the site wasn't working, and the app wasn't downloading from the App Store. This is a new app that was recommended to me actually today. I was like, oh, this would be cool. It's free. I could share this with my fellow Freedom and Wealth Seekers. However, I do have another platform that is free to use that you all can benefit from, that I'm always sharing. Some of you may be familiar with it. I've been using this platform for probably 10 years now. Yeah, I would say maybe, yeah, 2011, 2012 is when I started using this platform. So let's get the party started. Quick intro, folks. Welcome. If this is your first time, welcome. You're now officially a Freedom and Wealth Seeker. Uh, Welcome to the Freedom and Wealth Seekers podcast, where we pride ourselves on sharing, informing, educating, and growing a community with actionable information, content, and resources that you can actually experience results with. You can actually implement. Okay, quick disclaimer, folks. Remember to do your own research. My content is intended to be used for informational and sometimes entertainment purposes only. It is very important that you do your own due diligence before making any investments based on your own personal and financial situation and circumstances. You should also research and verify anything that I say and consult with a licensed professional before moving forward. So let's jump right into tonight's episode. This is episode number 13. Can you believe it? There was a big announcement today in local government. There are 3 people trying to get in. Let me get these folks in. Big announcement. Um, I've been talking about this for about 4 or 5 years now. The Earn Your Leisure podcast has been really pushing financial literacy, and now we're starting to see local governments wake up. Um, a lot of my colleagues, a lot of my business partners, people that I talk investing to on a daily basis, we always say, imagine if they had financial literacy classes in school, like how better off most of us would be. And today, a bill was signed in the state of Florida, that mandates personal finance, financial literacy. Because everybody doesn't go to college. Everybody that goes to college isn't going to major in or take an interest in accounting. I remember when I started my real estate business in 2005, I started introducing some of my friends to the business, and some of my friends had, gone through college and never knew what a mortgage was. Like they never knew what a mortgage was. They said, Marcel, what's a mortgage? And that's a lack of financial literacy. The only reason why, now I didn't know what a mortgage was before, just through personal experience, but mortgages were never brought up in class, even in college. Okay, so this is a need. I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to also share the link. I want to take a look at this article with you. There's several articles. I recommend that you Google, Florida governor financial literacy. The local newspapers down in Florida covered this story as well. So it says headline. This is CNBC.com. I'm gonna put this in the chat right now, so everybody can get this link and read this at your leisure. Florida just became the largest state to mandate personal finance education in high school. Florida is officially the largest state to mandate a financial literacy course for the high school graduation. Now they're saying this is the largest state that mandated this. I've never heard of any other state, to my knowledge. On Tuesday, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis signed Bill SB 1054 into law. The legislation was unanimously passed by both the State House of Representatives and Senate in early March. So whenever you see bills passed like this, understand that there will be adoption. There will be other states following. These politicians, they network, they see what each of them do through press. Trust and believe. Election time is coming up. Financial literacy is really a huge topic today in the media. Thanks to platforms like Earn Your Leisure. There's another gentleman that's on, has a podcast. I forget his name. It's not ringing a bell. But there are many people that have been preaching financial literacy over the last 5-10 years, and now, if you knock hard enough, doors start opening. And this bill, I think, is going to open up other opportunities for entrepreneurs like ourselves, because they're going to need somebody to teach these curriculums. They're going to need people to provide these curriculums. So I wouldn't be surprised if this bill, actually turns a couple people into multimillionaires just by this bill being passed. And this is going to be nationwide eventually. What the bill is doing with financial literacy is really providing a foundation for students that's going to be applicable in their lives, regardless of what path they take, said DeSantis during Tuesday's press event. This will provide a foundation for the students to learn the basics of money management, understanding debt, understanding how to balance a checkbook, and understanding the fundamentals of investing. Now that is marvelous. I wish this was in my curriculum coming out of high school. I had no idea how to balance a checkbook. I didn't know what credit was. Our children, really, you're given, this gives them more of a chance to succeed, because the reality is, and statistics show that most people that graduate from high school end up going to college. We end up usually in a lot of debt. And even if you don't go to college, debt is marketed to you. You got to get a credit card. There's nothing in the curriculum about financial management, financial literacy. Okay. And this is going to start. The new law will apply to students entering 9th grade in the 2023-24 school year and require that they take a half credit course in personal finance before they graduate. This is huge. So the fundamentals of investing, okay, what are we talking about here? Are we talking about stocks? Are we talking about real estate? Are we talking about cryptocurrency? Okay. Are we talking about investing in gold? And I mean, there's an array of different investments people can get involved with. I had someone reach out to me today and said, Marcel, what would you recommend I invest my money in if I had an extra five to $10,000 laying around? You know, people want to know what they can invest in, and when you start early like this, just imagine these children are going to be learning about companies like Apple, Amazon today. Imagine if you learned about Apple and Amazon when you were in high school and that you could actually purchase a stock in high school, or by the time you got to college, you knew how to open up a trading account, or you knew that you could go to college and take a refund check and invest that money in the stock market or in the real estate. So this bill that's passed, if you just logged on, I shared the link to this article about this amazing bill. This is an historic moment in our country, um, where we're now arming our children with financial literacy before they get out of high school. It's a requirement to graduate in the state of Florida. I believe this will be passed nationwide eventually. There's actually a young guy that's running in the state of Maryland named Wes Moore. He talks about the wealth gap. He talks about the importance of financial literacy. He talks about entrepreneurship. As he's an entrepreneur from my knowledge, I believe he will probably adopt this in my market in the state of Maryland. But I also every time I meet this guy Wes Moore, and I don't know if he remembers me, but every time I meet him, this is way before he started running for governor. I said, You could be the president one day. Like this guy has the charisma, he has the work ethic, he has that Barack Obama type of appeal to him. Family man, from my knowledge, clean as a whistle, served our country in the armed forces. So remember that name. Remember I said it on the Freedom and Wealth Seekers podcast. Wes Moore possibly could be our next black president. I think he could do it, but he has to win this governor's race, and I heard that he's leading in donors right now. So most likely he'll be uh, he'll be our governor in the state of Maryland. But this is huge, huge news. In other news, I saw a post on social media. A buddy of mine, Nasir, he posted, and you know, my colleagues, my buddies like Nasir, like Chris Bruce, and many others, we always talk about um, as entrepreneurs how really we make money out of thin air. We create really our incomes as an entrepreneur. There is no salaries. There is no hourly wage. There's no limit to how much you can make as an entrepreneur, as a real estate entrepreneur. Um, and what a lot of people lack, and one of the reasons why they're not successful is they lack belief. Like you lack belief that you can't do this, or there's limited belief, meaning you don't believe there's a lot of money to be made because you're just so used to getting paid by paycheck, by salary, by the hourly wage. And it's understandable. We've all been there. Okay. And believe me, when you become a real estate entrepreneur, or if you become an entrepreneur in another industry, there's and you actually experience some level of success. The next level is a new belief. It's not your income going up, it's a new belief that you implement in your daily routine. It's in your mindset. That's what gets you to the next level. It's really your belief system. When your belief goes up, then there's some other things that have to go in place to reach those financial goals, but it starts with belief. So I'm sharing this article about Jenifer Lopez and Ben Affleck, who recently just acquired this $50 million home. Now they were in the market to purchase a $65 million home, and they've been on this hunt, from my knowledge, for like the last 6, 7 months, right? So they settled on this Bel Air estate that's over 20,000 square feet. Now, the reason why I share this again is I want to let you all know that there are multi millions of dollars, billions, trillions of dollars in real estate. When you see transactions like this, like that's enough money to buy an entire zip code in some states. Okay. That just shows you that there's an abundance of funds available. The question is, how many of you would like to get a percentage of it, or would like to get $50 million one day? Again, that starts with a belief. Now you got to understand this. This property is going to generate income for other families. This real estate transaction, okay? The title company that's closing the transaction is going to get paid. The employees inside the title company are going to make money. The real estate agents involved. So you got a listing agent and you have a buyer's agent. They're going to get a nice fat check. Okay, six-figure check just from this transaction. There's most likely going to be a home inspection. They're going to have to get paid. The appraiser is going to get paid. This property is probably going to come with a property management company that cleans the property once a quarter. It's a white building, so you got to keep that exterior clean. There's going to be a landscaper involved. There's probably going to be some house managers involved with this property. I don't believe this is J Lo and Ben Affleck's only property. They have others, so it's going to generate income for other people involved in this transaction, which is one of the beautiful things about real estate. There's always more than just one person benefiting. The people that are going to write the insurance policy on this property, the alarm system, on this property. It's probably gated. It's the security. Like real estate, truly, this is a great example of how real estate truly is I would say, the nucleus of the economy. Like everything has to start and end with a piece of property to a certain extent. Yes, we have digital world now and the metaverse and things of that nature. But at the end of the day, it starts it starts with property. Okay. So this is a good article. If you're in, I know everybody wants to be entertained. And that's what part of this podcast is about. Who knows if you've been to any of my boot camps and seminars, one of my biggest goals is to interview Will Smith. And I'm gonna die trying. But that's like one of my biggest goals is to interview Will Smith. It could be in person or it could be virtual. But that's what I'm putting out to the universe. So if any of you know Will Smith, let him know. We'd love to have him over on the Freedom and Wealth Seekers podcast. So I just put that article in the chat for everybody. Um, direct mail. Yes, direct mail Wednesday. I can't forget about direct mail Wednesday. Before we get into the app and strategy for this week, I want to go back to this mail piece. I had left some stuff out. Okay, so this is the mail piece, right? That we talked about last week. If you weren't on last week's podcast, you got to go and review it. All right. I didn't notice this speaker box. So there's like a speaker box of Brad talking to you in this piece, which is really, really cool. Okay. This makes it personable. And the folks that that receive this, okay, they're different demographics. And the cool thing about this, right? The cool thing about the speaker box is that it's really he's really talking to us. He says, imagine the feeling of freedom that comes with having a pile of cash in your bank account. That's what this is saying. Okay, and there's a whole message, and I'm not going to go into it because we read it last week, but it's really speaking to the prospect. Okay, and then for the folks that didn't see this last week, I went into this graphic and how it relates directly to what's in the speaker box. He's basically breaking down what's on what grabs your attention, a pile of cash and your house inside of the speaker box. So that's, I would say that's part 2 of Direct Mail Wednesday from last week. And I'm going to jump into a case study. I shared this case study earlier in the week. If you can put in the chat, did you see the case study for this month? Did anybody see the case study this month? It was about a real estate agent. She gave a tour of the property that she flipped. The property owner was an out-of-state owner. Did anybody see that? A few folks. So I am going to bring that up. And I'm actually going to play it because everybody did not see that. So let's see here. All right, so this is the case study that I shared, and you should be able to hear this.
Hey everybody, this is Nishan Guksa, licensed real estate agent here, and I'm standing in front of one of my deals. About a couple of years ago, back in 2012, I attended one of Marcel Humphrey's master classes, and then I went on to attend one of his boot camps where I joined up in his mentorship program, and since then I've done several deals with him. I'm actually going to take you guys inside and walk you through this house so you can see what we've got going on. Took place was I was contacted by a seller, and then I used a method that Marcel teaches, the OPM method, to get this deal done. So, as Marcel always says, documentation beats conversation. So I'll show you guys my check. So I have a check here for a little over $27,000. And I highly recommend that you guys sign up for his next training.
All right, Nishan, congratulations. How many of you could use an extra $27,000 right now? Anybody? Just put a yes in the chat if you could use an extra 27K. So there's a couple of things in that video, right, that stood out, and it kind of leads into the app, the platform that I'm going to share. Um, Absolutely. Tammy says yes. Dion says yes. Jennifer, David says yes. We could all use an extra 27,000. So a couple of things stood out in this case study. If you notice in the beginning of that video, and all of you should have that video because I sent it out via text this week, the front porch was loaded. There was stuff all on the front porch. You could tell, I think it was a lot of leaves outside. That you could tell the property wasn't taken care of. That was a semi-detached property, so it's a house attached to it. And there's a quick story about that. I'll get to it. As you walk in, the house is really dated. Okay, you had the dimmer switch on the wall. You could see there were like stains on the wall. That house had belonged to a senior citizen who had moved with family to the West Coast. Okay. And Nishan, she didn't go into details on how she acquired the deal, but she sent out direct mail. That's one of her specialties, sending out direct mail marketing. She's not the type of person that's going to be making phone calls all the time. She may have a fear of making cold calls, like a lot of folks. And I tell all of my student partners, hey, one of the best strategies, however, you got to spend some money, is sending direct mail. And if a company like this, Express Home Buyers, sends out direct mail, why can't you do it? Okay, so it doesn't matter what your budget is. The point is staying consistent. Okay, you have to stay consistent. Okay, now did she spend $27,000 to bring that deal in? No, she didn't have to spend that much money. She's done multiple deals using direct mail, and she's always been profitable. Now, the cool thing about this deal is that the next door neighbor saw Nishan going in and out of the property because there were some belongings that she had to send out to the West Coast that the owner wanted to keep. Okay. And I got it. That's bringing back memories. So I helped her put this deal together. I was actually able to purchase a Kirby vacuum cleaner. They don't make those anymore. Okay. There were some records. I collect records. There were a bunch of oldie but goodie records uh, inside the basement of that property. You saw the basement. It was a bunch of stuff down there. Um, but there was some other value, some artwork that the owner did not want. And Nishan, outside of 27,000, she was able to generate more money selling some of the items inside the house. Okay. She was able to sell some of the items inside of the house. Now, as far as the situation, the senior that sold her the property, I don't know if this was an estate sale and she was the PR, the lady in Seattle, Washington. Um, but you come across these types of deals throughout your journey where the owners, sometimes they don't want anything inside the house. They say you can take everything and throw it away, do whatever you want. Look at that as another stream of potential income. And that's what Nishan did with that. She didn't only make money on the sale of the property, she made money selling the contents in the property. Okay. And guess what? The next door neighbor purchased the property. The next door neighbor purchased the property. She said she wanted to try to combine both of the houses. So it worked out for all parties involved. The person selling the property got what they wanted. Nishan was able to make a profit. The next door neighbor got the house. And this is a huge lot, a really nice neighborhood. So let's go into the app here. What is this? Google Chrome. Okay, perfect. Well, looks like I'm gonna have to minimize the video for you all to see it, or just go right to the website. me a sec. You know how Zoom gets when you're using the internet. So I'm gonna have to pull up the site. All right. So this is the site some of you may know about. It used to be called gosection8.com. So it's now affordablehousing.com. And I am going to give you an example. So how do I use this site? Well, I use it several different ways. When I'm renting a house, I may post this to nowaffordablehousing.com. Okay. I also use this site when I'm doing market research. If I'm going into a new market and I want to know how much rents are in a particular market, like right now, I'm really excited about some of the things that are going on in Ohio. Um, I just pulled up Toledo, Ohio, and you can tell a city is poised for growth when you see and this is just from my lens, when you see there are a lot of properties for rent. So Toledo is a small city, has 260 rentals available. Okay. So you got multifamily, you got single family, you got duplexes. Oh wait, a two-bedroom in Toledo is renting for $945. That's pretty strong. 10 years from now, that rent is going to be over $1,000. You can go to any city around the United States. So you go to Atlanta, Georgia. It's a hot city right now as far as real estate, but look at it. 69 rentals available in Atlanta. That tells you it's probably more of a retail city, house flipper type of city, but there's still opportunity there when you use the strategy that I'm going to share with you in a moment here. So let's look at Baltimore, Maryland. Baltimore, Maryland, 652 rentals. Big city, pretty decent sized city, right? Okay. That means there's a lot of investors here. So how do I use this site, right? So the cool thing let me move the camera here. The cool thing about this site is that they give you actual addresses. So what I do is I'll take the addresses, okay, and I'll do a little research on the address. Okay, so this 842 Lyndhurst, that's owned by an investor. My next step is going over to uspropertysearch.com. Okay, if you've never used uspropertysearch.com, it's a national online database where you can take that address, copy and paste it into uspropertysearch.com and find out who the owner is. You can find out who the owner is, how many other properties they own, when they purchased this property, how much they purchased the property for, is there a mortgage on the property? It gives you an array of information. Even you can get the person's mailing address, the person's phone number, email, if you want to get in touch. And that's one of the ways we use it. Now, it's a quick way of getting in touch with the owners sometimes. Now, Brilliant Rent is the contact person here, right? That seems like it's a tenant placement company or property management company. Would I call them? Yes. There's a strategy for that. But you also can, if you're not the type of person that likes to pick up the phone, you can actually just send them a direct message with your phone number. And a lot of times they're not going to read the message. They're just going to call you back. Okay. Now, why would I do this? Well, if I'm going into a new market, I want to start building relationships with real estate investors that are going to either be in the market to buy more property, which most of the time they are, but also I want to let them know that I'm buying property too. Okay. There are real estate investors out here every day that are buying property and also selling property that they did not fix up. For whatever reason, they're they are in the market to sell property that they did not fix up. So I use sites like this. This is a free site, affordable housing. Okay. 4511 Fairfax. Now it's a multi-unit, right? Look, there is a person's name, Mindy R. Now she could actually be the owner. It gives me her direct, that looks like a cell phone number. It says owner right there. It says owner, right? I think that's what that means. But I can either DM her or I would just straight up text message her. Hey, Mindy, saw your property on affordablehousing.com. Are you looking to buy more multi-units in that neighborhood? Like, this is what I'm saying in my text. Would love to have a conversation with you. Give me a call if you're interested or send me a text. Okay. But now this is a lead. All right. This is another lead. All right. So, folks, some of these properties are going to be in LLCs. You're going to have to do a little more due diligence. Let's see how much time I have. Oh, we're over 7 minutes. Look, we're gonna come back to this. We're gonna come back to this, but I challenge you all. I challenge you all to go to affordablehousing.com. And heck, some of you may be able to use this. I get emails and texts all the time. Marcel, do you know anybody that has any houses for rent in X, Y, and Z marketplace? Well, search no more, folks. This is a national database that you can use. You sign up as a tenant and they will start emailing you, text messaging you properties that are available in your desired markets that you plan to live in. But also if you're going to be wholesaling real estate, if you're going to be buying rental property, this is an excellent site to start doing some market research on, to start reaching out to property owners. Like if I was somebody that didn't have any money to get started, didn't have any money to do direct mail, I was scared to make cold calls. Well, I would just go to this site and I would spend all day just either texting or emailing right through the platform, totally free, the landlords. Pick 5, 10 states and just start emailing. Hey, my name is Mary. I'm interested in buying more property in the Toledo, Ohio market. Do you have anything for sale right now? Or I'm looking to build relationships with active investors that are looking to buy more property. Are you looking to buy more properties right now? That's a yes or no. You're going to get some no's. You're going to get some yeses. The yeses are the only ones you want to worry about. So, folks, this was a great podcast. I feel like you learned a lot of information was shared. I feel like you're inspired. Look for more to come. I may be holding a future masterclass very, very soon that I will be inviting you to. Folks, it's only one thing to do. Take action. And I look forward to seeing you all at the closing table. God bless and take care. Bye-bye.